Do a little trivia with cause.
I'm not spelling any names. Next question.
But Allie wants you to spell Giannis's last name if you can.
Giannis or Freak.
That's right.
All right, that sounds pretty good.
That's not bad.
What's the state of the union for the Nuggets tonight? You've got Jokic coming back. I think you got Barton coming back. Where's the confidence level?
Well, obviously, so Gallo is the only guy out tonight, and to your point, Chris, getting Will Barton back, getting Nikola back, great to have those guys back in the lineup, and obviously another game for Emmanuel back as he tries to get his back in his proper place, if you will. So yeah, we feel pretty good about things. Obviously, Gallo is a big miss in terms of what he's been bringing to the table lately, playing at a high level, but Wilson will start in his place, and more minutes for the guys to step up and take advantage.
Did you consider starting Juancho at that position and keeping Wilson coming off the bench, or was that ever a consideration, or was just go with Wilson?
No, it wasn't. To be honest, it was Wilson right away. Obviously, he started this year and played well for us. But that does free up minutes for Juancho off the bench potentially, and I think Juancho has done a really good job lately of all the minutes he's been given, taking full advantage of those and coming in there and impacting the game in a positive manner. So, if Juancho is called upon, I have no doubt that he'll be ready to play and play with great energy like he always does.
I know you answered these questions for radio today, but we'd like to have a record on TV. Wilson Chandler saying he wants to be traded. Can you just give us a comment about that? And Emmanuel Mudiay, the rumors about him.
Wilson's never asked to be traded. Never addressed that with myself. Obviously, as I mentioned this morning, you can ask Wilson that, but as far as my relationship with Wilson, it's never come up. He's having a hell of a year, a career year in that regard, and a guy that has played starting minutes, off the bench minutes, 30 minutes a night, and does a little bit of everything for us. So we love Wilson, and as I've said this morning, I'll say it again, that's never been brought to my attention in all of my dealings one-on-one with Wilson Chandler regarding he wants to be traded. As far as Emmanuel Mudiay goes, this time of year, for every team in the NBA, there are rumors. All GMs have a job to do. They're all looking to make their teams better. There's conversations that go on, but in speaking with Tim Conley, I can say that he is not actively shopping Emmanuel Mudiay. The one caveat to all that is everybody's tradable in this league. Let's be honest. I mean, we're a young team. We have a lot of valuable young assets, but it's not like Tim Conley's out there trying to get rid of these guys. We really think we have a bright future, and Emmanuel is one of our young players that we value.
You've said that you want to see Jamal Murray play some point guard minutes. How do you get him minutes when you've got Jameer and Mudiay there?
Yeah, well, I think what all you have to do is, you don't have to pigeonhole people and say if he's on the court with Jameer is just the point guard and he has to be the shooting guard. You can put the ball in Jamal Murray's hands regardless of who's on the floor with him, and let him initiate, let him play pick and roll, let him be a facilitator and a playmaker. So, he'll be on the floor with Jameer, he'll be on the floor with Emmanuel tonight, but it's my responsibility to make sure I'm putting the ball in his hands and allowing him the opportunity to make plays, and I think he's done a pretty good job of that lately.
Coach, both of these teams run a lot of offense through guys that are nearly 7 foot tall. Does that take commitment, imagination, stones, that decision?
Well, I think there's also some common sense in there. Just because Antetokounmpo is somewhat like when I was in Cleveland, we had LeBron James, and so you could have had on paper maybe Mo Williams as that point guard. Well, LeBron was the guy that had the ball and made all the plays, and Jason uses Giannis in the same manner. For us, ever since I changed the lineup after I think December 15th. We're 12-11 since that time. And prior to Nikola getting hurt, we were 12-9, which was top 10 record in the NBA over that time. And it was just kind of assessing who you are, who your best player is, and putting him in a position to be the player he can be. And Nikola makes everybody better. So really it would be poor coaching on my part if I tried to make him just a post-up player or put the ball in somebody else's hands as much as I have Mark. So yeah, I think it takes courage for us to put a second-year player as the cornerstone of the offense. But for us, I can't speak for Milwaukee. The results have been tangible. I mean, last 23 games, we have the second most efficient offense in the NBA. In every offensive category, we're top 5 almost. So it's gone well for us. Now, hopefully, we can find a way to defend a little bit to keep playing meaningful games.
With a young team, roles have changed, the injuries have changed roles. Is it tough to have a consistent rotation? How big a challenge is that for you as a coach and for players?
Yeah, it definitely is hard. When you have such shifting lineups, rotations, because guys are in, guys are out. Earlier in the year, Jameer Nelson was starting at the 2 guard because Will Barton was out, Gary Harris was out. So it presents, problems at times, but I think our players have done a pretty good job of understanding the NBA is all about injuries, how you handle the injuries, and when guys have been called upon, they've been ready. Now the challenge is when a guy is out and guys play, now when you get healthy, that's when the real problem comes because you can't play everybody. And that's where I understand guys get frustrated, but hopefully if we really are a team that is selfless, guys understand that we all have to sacrifice a little bit for the betterment of the team.
And how hard is that's sales job to say, hey, no matter who plays how many minutes, we're in it to get a playoff berth rather than you to get 25 minutes a night.
Yeah. It's hard, I'm not going to lie, because all players in today's NBA, and this is not just in Denver, but in every player, they all say they want to win. But I think a lot of the players say they want to win, but it's on their own terms. I want to win, but I want my shots, I want my minutes, I want my touches. Winning helps. So obviously we go 7-3 to close out January. And you know what? You can't really say a whole lot when you're winning games because the rotation that we have and the guys that are playing well and playing at a high level. It's when you start to lose games, that's when you really have to keep the ship together and keep everybody on board. And that's my challenge as a head coach, and one that I embrace. And it's not easy, but it comes with the job. And I'm not afraid of that, trying to keep guys on board and together.
Are you confident everybody's all in, or is that impossible on any NBA team that's not the Warriors?
I know it's. I really think going to London, coming back from London, I have felt that we are all in. I really have. Going over there, having lost 5 in a row, even though it was a very tough schedule, tough opponents. When you lose, that's when cracks start to show up. I thought the London trip was a great opportunity for us to come together. We win 5 in a row, and all of a sudden, winning is a cure-all. Let's be honest. Now we've lost 2 games in a row, and hopefully you get a win tonight, kind of make everybody feel a little bit better. But I think the last 10 games going into the All-Star break are some of the toughest games of the season. You have the trade deadline, you have rumors, guys are tired physically, and guys are tired mentally. And we have to find a way to mentally be tough enough to get through that, ignore all the noise around us, and concentrate on the task at hand. And that task right now is to beat the Milwaukee Bucks, who have lost 4 in a row and are hungry for a win.
Coach, you've called Nikola your best player, and the stats back that up, but I wonder if there's any way to really quantify just how valuable he is for you and what it means to get him back tonight.
Yeah, I would just say if you really delve into the numbers analytically, you can't deny his impact on the game. The numbers ever since the lineup change, the scoring, the playmaking, the assists, how much more efficient we've become, and he is a central part of that. He's a guy that we played through, in so many different ways. And yes, we beat Phoenix without him. Now we've lost 2 games in a row without him. And I think all you have to do is the eye test. We have looked like a different team without him. We don't have nearly as much movement. Guys aren't running as much because you don't have that guy that is making the pinpoint passes to get guys easy baskets. But we have a lot of depth on this team. We have some guys that were playing at a high level like Gallo before the injury, but having Nikola back will be great because he's kind of the centerpiece of everything that we do.
What's his minute restriction look like tonight, and just how's he feeling health-wise?
They try to tell me something about a restriction, but I didn't hear him.
48 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a beauty restriction in a Harris.
I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, he feels pretty good. Probably no more than 25, 28 minutes, but we'll kind of see what kind of personality this game takes on.
Do you compute those minutes, or do you have someone on the bench that's going, he's played 19 minutes, he only has 1 more minute to play?
No, I'm always asking. I'm always looking at the stat sheet. Always yelling over to Tim Gill. How many minutes does Darrell Arthur have? How many minutes does Emmanuel Mudiay? How many minutes does Nikola have? How many minutes does Gary Harris have? We have a lot of restrictions. But I have to trust our medical staff, who does a great job. Big picture of keeping our guys healthy so we can get through the season.
How long do you expect Gallo to be?
Right now, my guess would be, next couple of games he'll be out, kind of monitor his progress with his treatment on the groin. And if it happens to be longer, we're not going to rush him back, obviously. That's an injury that can keep on coming back if you don't treat it the right way. So we'll be smart. But right now, I don't expect him playing the next couple of games.